Yo, what is up guys? It's the Gooblinator, and today I'm back with another Call of Duty Black Ops 3 information video. And today we're going to be talking about the Weevil SMG, and in particular, the secret Weevil buff people have been talking about and speculating about, and YouTubers have been saying it is true, it's not true. I'm going to be clearing it up for you guys today in tonight's video about the Weevil. So the Weevil is an SMG in Black Ops 3, and it's been basically a gun that people have been wanting to get buffed. You know, I think Nadeshot started the buff the Weevil trend. Everyone's wanting the Weevil to get buffed, when in reality, it's already a pretty strong SMG. I don't really see what the buff is that everyone is requiring with it. I think it's already a pretty fun SMG, and I get a ton of good gameplays with this gun, and I think that just throwing on rapid fire is basically the buff that you need. But basically, information has been coming out, and a lot of people have been putting out videos and stuff like that saying that there was a secret Weevil buff and that the 4-shot kill range was increased, and a lot of bigger YouTubers have been putting out this video along, and medium-sized YouTubers are just following along. You know, a lot of YouTubers are putting out this info, and then whenever I live stream, people are spamming me saying, yo, the Weevils got buffed and stuff like that. And I've been checking the patch notes. You know me, I like to keep up to date with the patch notes and everything like that. And I covered it, like the ICR buff and stuff like that in my video yesterday. But I was thinking, is the Weevil buff true? Because I don't see any patch notes in any of my sources that I'm looking at on my stat chart. I don't see any buff notes for the Weevil. So basically, I just sort of dismissed it, said I'll have to do some testing out later about the Weevil buff. And I sort of didn't really believe it, because when I would play with the Weevil, it didn't seem like it was buffed to me, especially at the huge buff that everyone has been talking about. Everyone was saying secret overpowered god gun Weevil, stuff like that, when in reality the gun hasn't been changed at all. And basically this guy, Exclusive Ace, he's a great Call of Duty YouTuber. I have some footage from him here which I'll show up on the screen, and as you guys can see here, the first is from before, where the apparent patch date is from. First footage is from about a month ago, and then the second footage is from basically today, showing that the gun has not changed in its 4-hit kill range at all. So the Weevil buff that these big YouTubers are saying is true, it's completely false, and there is no Weevil buff except for the buff in hardcore. Once again, that footage is from Exclusive Ace. He's a really great Call of Duty YouTuber, one that actually puts out really genuine information, and I'll link down to him in the description below if you guys want to go check him out. But basically, yeah, the Weevil has not been buffed. It's only been buffed in hardcore, basically the 2-shot to a 1-shot range in certain ranges in hardcore. But for most of us players, there's been no apparent Weevil buff. Now, in my opinion, I want to talk about this a little bit, and in my opinion, there's an SMG that needs a buff a little bit more than the Weevil. But just to clarify again, once again, there is no Weevil buff in the latest patch. It's just the ICR buff that came through, and then most of the other guns are pretty much untouched, just some small changes, the kill counter and stuff like that. I might go through the patch notes, but the Weevil has not had that secret buff that everyone said. And whenever people come out with sort of secret information, I always ask for a source on it, because, you know, usually these dedicated websites like Charlie Intel or Reddit, people will always know when new information comes out about the game, and it seems that this Weevil thing sort of came out of nowhere, and it's just a whole rumor fill, sort of like the Bowie knife situation we had a while ago. But what I want to talk about first is I think that the Vesper needs a buff more than the Weevil, and I think that the Vesper, they hurt it way too hard with their nerfs to it. It's pretty much unusable. At this point, I'd say the Vesper and the Pharaoh are the weakest SMGs. I like the Weevil, the Kuda, the Razorback, and of course the VMP. Those are all strong SMG choices in my opinion. But I think that the Pharaoh as well as the Vesper have just been a victim to their apparent, you know, how many times they've nerfed them in Call of Duty Black Ops 3. But that's just my opinion. But once again, hopefully this clears up this secret Weevil buff for you guys. The Weevil is still a pretty strong gun, but we didn't get that Weevil buff that we are looking for, and hopefully that footage cleared it up for you guys. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you guys can, drop some likes on this thing, drop some support on this thing. I really do appreciate that. Also, subscribe to my channel if you guys are new. We're closing on 400,000 subscribers, which is absolutely insane. Subscribe for a cookie and don't looky, and I'm out. Peace. Thanks for watching, guys.